full moon, April 12th, 2025 at 5:22 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time at 23 degrees Libra, 20 minutes. And on that exact same day, Venus is going to go direct at 6:02 p.m. at about 24.5 degrees Pisces. Now, Venus is exalted in Pisces, but she's also the ruler of Libra, which is going to make this Venus even stronger. And the fact that she's going station direct, that means she's stopped, stationed up in the sky, getting ready to turn around and go direct. Basically, you know, that even makes her stronger. Because remember our rule of thumb in astrology, the slower the planet, the more powerful it is. So if she's stopped up there, she only moves like 1 degree on the week before and the week after going direct. So you can see how slow that's moving. So give it some time for that energy to get moving. And oh, and also remember on April 7th, Mercury goes direct. So all the planets are going to be direct up until May 4th when Pluto is going to station and go retrograde. So, but this is a time, get some energy going. Like I said, give it a week or so. So you might want to wait till, you know, April 18th or so to really start buying things and signing papers and that kind of thing. And I also wanted to mention April 12th is also the beginning of Passover, and Easter is going to be on April 20th. Now, I wanted to give you the astrological formula for that. So Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon, what we're having right now, on or after the spring or the Aries equinox on March 20th. So I wanted to just let you know that because I think that is so cool to actually know what the formula is for that. So remember with a full moon, we have the sun and the moon in opposition. So the sun is shining rays, illuminating our moons, our more interior parts of ourselves. So look back at those intentions you made on March 29th at the Aries new moon. And this is the time to decide, should I keep going forward or is it time to cut my losses and let things go? Because remember, this is a time, Pisces let go, Aries start the new. Over and over and over, we're hearing about this. So anyway, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and hopefully I'll see you in the extended version or next week. So bye for now. Welcome back to the Magical Mystery School, and thank you so much for coming back to the extended version of the full moon in Libra, April 2025, and also Venus going direct, who's the ruler of Libra also. And I want to just thank everyone who's subscribing and stuff. I super appreciate it. It just really helps the algorithms. So, and feel free to like and ask questions or just even give me some emojis in the comments. It would all help my channel. So that would be really great. And of course, subscribing doesn't cost you anything. And I did have a woman one time ask me, well, am I going to get all these emails? I don't need to get any more emails, which I totally understand. You know, you won't get any emails. There's a little notification bell, but if you hit that, there's a bell on your YouTube page. You have to hit that to get those notifications. Anyway, I'm really, really hoping to get this published on April 4th. And, oh my gosh, it's snowing. Well, it's Colorado, April 4th. What are we going to do? Anyway, we'll see. Interesting. Anyway, because like I said, this is the beginning of all those transits. So, oops. So I think I'm just going to put you on pause and we'll go straight down to the wheel and get started. Okay, here we are. Here's our wheel. So the first transit I want to mention, because it's happening right today on April 4th, is we do have the Saturn up here in Pisces, right? And these transits are happening about 25 degrees. So if you've got anything at 25 degrees in your chart, look and see if it's being activated. So that would be by element or modality. And then here's that activation. And then here's Uranus down here in Taurus, and we've talked about that a whole lot. But I did want to mention that the tarot key that symbolizes Uranus is the Fool. And can I get this to the focus? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to talk fast. Okay, so that's the key, and see it's the 0 key. It's the first of the major arcana, with that big sun coming down right down his back, down his pineal gland, with that rod. And he's getting ready to leap off the cliff. So that's Uranian energy right there. It's just ready to go for it. Let that little flower open up and be the parachute as he lands down on Earth. So he's going from the spirit world down to the 3D world. And then the key that represents Saturn is the last key in the major arcana. Yay. And you can see she's dancing on air. Okay, so she's the last of the major arcana, so she's going up into spirit so that we can start over again by coming down. So she's the last step, he's the first step. So just remember, if you ever do work with tarot, yes, this is new beginnings, but it's also the ending of what was before, whereas this is, yes, ending of things, but new beginnings as she dances off into the spirit world. Okay, so whoops. So I'll just put these down here. But I think it's kind of fun if you want to know more about those energies. Just meditating on these keys can really be helpful. Okay, so we got these two guys here. And then on April 4th, a little bit later on in the day, Mars, which is down here still in Cancer, it went direct, but it is still in Cancer, is going to sextile Uranus and trine Mars. Mars is going to trine Saturn. And you know me, I love this Saturn-Mars aspect for sure, because it's helping us get a lot of work done. And then the sextile there just gives us a little pizzazz there and helps us along. Oh, and I should have also mentioned that this sextile, although it's very unusual with these more outer planets, we are going to get 3 hits. So this is the first one. The second one's going to be on August 11th. And the third one will be on January 26th, or January 2026. So we are going to get a little, that's going to be kind of cool. So keep if you have an astrology calendar, just maybe write a thing or two about what happens today on April 4th, and then see what happens on April 11th. Do you come back to something similar? Okay. What else? Oh, and the Mars card in the tarot is, let's see. Oh, okay. It's the Tower card, and you can see, and sometimes you see that arrow up in the top right there. A lot of times in some tarot keys, there'll actually be a circle there so that it looks like the Mars symbol, okay, blasting that tower apart. But this is just showing you that, you know, you might have rocky foundations that are crumbling out from under you. Of course, Mars is kind of that warrior sign. But just to let you know, even though we've got sextiles and trines and all this beautiful energy, when I see these two guys involved in any transits or any aspects, I'm like, be careful, because you can fall off a cliff or you can get blasted out of your nice, secure little tower there. So just be aware of that. Okay. So then on April 5th, and I didn't mention this last time because I don't talk a whole lot about moon transits because they're so fleeting. But this one, oh my goodness, the moon is going to be going through Cancer, and this is all going to happen on one day. So get ready, Saturday, April 5th could be really emotional because the moon is our emotions. So she is going to sextile Uranus, trine Mars, or Saturn, conjunct Mars, trine Venus and Mercury. Oh, I need to put those guys on there too. But all on the same day. So this is going to be, you know, she hasn't made it for our full moon in Libra. This is happening the 7th, or what was it, the 5th. So it's the 12th she'll get up here. But for that April 5th, she's going to be aspecting everything. And I'm sorry, let me put that Venus and Mercury on here too, because Venus is going to conjunct, and then on the 8th, Venus will conjunct Saturn. So again, this is a really good time for us to developing spiritual Pisces practices, make a commitment to that with Saturn. And then, you know, again, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So if you want to develop some good spiritual practices, that would be the day. And also on April 7th is when Mercury goes stations, so it stops and goes direct, like Venus is going to do on April 12th. So these guys, so with this, all this going on here, Mercury doesn't perfect. That's what we call it when an aspect is perfected to the minute. But it's at 27, and all of this is happening at 25. So it's very, very close, right? And then on Tuesday, April 8th is when the Venus-Uranus sextile perfects. So I'm seeing that. I love Uranian energy. It's always exciting, adventuresome, and, you know, let's take a little risk, huh? And sextiling with Venus in Pisces. I mean, what a beautiful expression. And also Venus also rules Taurus. So I just remembered that. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be pretty interesting. Because Venus rules not only our love relationships, but anything we value. So money, property, any kind of thing like that. Now, this is a little, I hope I'm not stepping on anybody's toes or anything like that. But I'm almost wondering, with all this sextiles and trines, all this beautiful, smooth flowing energy, and we're having all this, you know, ups and downs with the stocks market and everything. I don't know. We'll see what the weekend does. But I'm almost wondering, with this Venus sextile Uranus, expect the unexpected in Taurus, how we make money every day with Venus, what we value, Saturn being, you know, come on, let's be serious here, that kind of stuff. I almost wonder if you know who I call the orange one, if he may lift some of those tariffs. Because and especially if there's anybody out there from Canada, I am so sorry. I don't know what this man is doing. Anyway, okay. So I almost wonder, I'll be curious. So let's all look and see on Tuesday, April 8th, what happens here. But something pretty cool is going to happen. It should, anyway. All right. We'll see. Okay. And like I said, we are just hearing the same messages over and over and over. We're seeing, you know, the old and the new, right? Letting go, having to let go and open your hand so that the new can come into your hand. We're having that repeated. We're having, we're having this, we're trying to seek balance, excitement and action, balancing with stability and grace and elegance and beauty, right? And with all these sextiles and trines, it all should be so smooth and pleasant. So we'll see. We still got these guys to think about. But it's a pretty exciting time, that's for sure. So the other thing I wanted to review was Neptune and emphasize, because this is such a huge one, Neptune going over this 0 Aries point. Now, admittedly, Neptune did this back on March 30th. And that was what we were talking about with all that amazing energy coming on into the Earth. And I guess there actually was a huge solar flare, but it was directed away from the Earth on the other side of the sun. But if that had been pointed towards the Earth, it was such a huge solar flare that it might have knocked out some internet or electricity or something like that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And for myself, what I've been feeling, I have been feeling more of a calm strength, okay? That's been kind of interesting for me to, I haven't felt so worried, thank God, I hope, about things. But and the other thing I've really noticed is, you know how in the Grinch That Stole Christmas, right at the very end, they say how the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes that day. That's a little bit how I felt. I have felt like in my heart that there's been something that is, I feel like I'm perceiving more from my heart instead of my brain and my eyes. So that kind of thing. So kind of, you know, that's, see what, you know, I'd be curious to hear about that too. If you felt anything. Now with, and like I said, with Neptune leaving Pisces, oh my God, whenever one of these planets leaves a sign that's been in for just decades, years. Same thing when Pluto went back and forth here last year. It was in Capricorn, the plutocrat, right? Which is very similar to oligarchy. Look it up. So last summer, up until September, Pluto had gone into Aquarius, so we got a taste of what that might be like. And then it went back into Capricorn and didn't go back into Aquarius until November 19th, after our election. So I think because Pluto is back here in Capricorn is why the plutocracy is like, what do they call it, doing its last gasp here, and is really trying to beat us over the head with it. But we'll see. And like I said, if any of my comments, if you find them offensive or anything like that, move on. Bye. Thank you for watching what you have. Anyway, okay, so same thing with Neptune here. I mean, yeah, Neptune definitely gave us a spiritual renaissance, especially going from Aquarius into Pisces. I mean, this was the new age, right? Whoa, dawning of the new age when we were all really starting to get activated. But here, same thing, but more on a watery level, okay, not so intellectual. And the other thing too with Neptune going through Pisces, you know, and especially these last couple of years, I just feel like we've been, you know, drowning, literally, mutable water, in this misinformation and disinformation. I mean, I have learned what the difference is. I didn't even know there, you know, that misinformation is telling somebody the wrong information and you're not aware of it. You don't know it. Disinformation is when you're lying. When you know what you're telling is not the truth and you're doing it on purpose. So I found out that through all these days. But I am really hoping that Neptune into Aries, instead of that, we will be able to let go of a lot of that disinformation and lying, basically. And I also wanted to mention, with Neptune going to Aries, be a little careful about cults and that kind of thing, because Aries is a very strong sign. So you may, you know, there may be people out there that are like, I know exactly how to lift your vibration. I know exactly how to teach you how to manifest. I know this, I know that. Watch out for that. Where, and I know the only way. That's another one here. If somebody gets that, and give me $1,000. You know, that's that's the kind of thing. Now I'm totally for people making money for whatever they're doing. I mean, like, for myself, I that's why I want more. One of the reasons I want more subscribers is so I could make some money. But anyway, that's anyway. So that got me off track. Money always does, doesn't it? But just remember that there will be that that big shift here, and just don't get, you know, if somebody tells you that they've got the secret, check it out. Check out other people and make sure, that's all. And because there has been big changes in religion, and I wonder too, I know the Pope's been kind of sick, and Neptune going into Aries, will there be a new Pope? Will there be another Pope? You know, that kind of stuff, because Neptune does dissolve. And I have noticed too with the what's been going on here in the States with our government and stuff, just a kind of a sadness for me. I just feel sad that this is having to happen. Although I keep kind of boosting myself with the idea that it's in the long run, and you know how spirit is, oh, this is, you know, a really short time frame. It's going to happen in the next 100 years. What? You know, I mean, but I do hope that this will all be for the good in the long run, like I said. Okay, now let's talk a little bit more about this full moon, because like I said, the moon will be up here in Libra, and the sun's down here in Aries at, what did I say, 23.5 degrees. And this is cardinal air, cardinal fire, and Venus going station direct on that same day. But just remember, you know, a Libra moon, any Libra, you know, they tend to have people tend to think of Libras as being very go along, get along, that they try to make everybody happy and all that kind of stuff, even to the detriment of themselves sometimes. And that's very true. Libras are probably one of the kindest, most sympathetic signs in the zodiac. But at the same time, she's Libra, okay? And this is the card, the tarot key for Libra. It's the Justice card. And you can see she has her scales there. That's the symbol. Oh, is it staying in focus? Okay. Yeah, so far so good. She's got the scales. Okay, right here. So that's Libra. But notice in her other hand, she has the sword of justice. And that is a two-edged sword. Okay? And, you know, and that's the thing with Libras. When they get, you can push them so far, and then they whip out that sword, and they'll be as kind and sweet as anything, and lop your head off. No. No, it makes me think. There's this movie, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but I can't. But in the movie, there's this couple, and the guy kind of thinks maybe things aren't going that great with his relationship, but you know, and one day the gal says, "Oh, let's, you know, I think it's time for us to sit down and have a chat." And they're very, you know, she's very sweet, very kind. She said, "I think it's time for us to start, you know, spending some time apart, or maybe thinking, you know, rethinking things and stuff like that." She's like, "Oh, okay." And then the next thing you know, the doorbell rings, and it's the movers to take all of her stuff out. So that's so Libra. Just such the sweetest, kindest way of saying, "Bye, I'm ready to go." So anyway, and this, so again, with this full moon, and I don't talk a whole lot about well, okay. The other thing too I wanted to mention is this Venus and Saturn. That may create a feeling of maybe some coldness. So if you do feel like there's any coldness or isolation between you and a loved one, or that kind of, or yourself towards others, give it some time. Let Venus go direct, and give it a week or so and see if that coldness and isolation might kind of dissolve. Okay, that distant feeling. So just give it some time. Okay, all right. And the other big thing I wanted to point out too, or another thing, is that notice that this Mars is at 27 degrees Cancer. Okay, so this is, okay, pop quiz. Cancer is cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal, Libra, pop quiz, cardinal, Aries, pop quiz, cardinal. Okay, so that means there's a T-square going on. Okay, so again, another boost to make this full moon a little bit more exciting, whether we like it or not. Okay, and then like I said, with Venus and Mercury both going direct, this is a time for our communication to get clear, for our relationships to get clear, and we may even just come up with a new look for ourselves, a new hairdo and that kind of thing. And we're also going to be clear about what we want, okay? So because of Saturn there, not a very cuddly thing going on here, but at least it's solid, it's firm, and we feel clear about it. And if a relationship ends because of any of this action here, or because of Saturn or this Uranus, this is the one where if you have a partner that says, you know, I think we should start, you know, seeing other people or spending time apart or whatever it is, just say, okay, I think that's a good idea, and leave, okay? And if it's, even though you might be crying inside or swallowing that knot in your throat, just remember, if this person is the right person for you, the fact that you can walk away so easily, it's going to make them sit up and take notice. So that's really, you know, and I'm not saying to do this to manipulate or anything like that, but I want you to be in the strongest position. Okay, now I know I'm going on way too long again, but I've got one more thing that I just really want to just mention. It's that sun sign birthday thing. So really quickly, remember the sun, like clockwork, moves a degree a day. So at 0 degrees Aries, to be an orb, and this is a big orb, 10 degrees on either side, anybody who has a birthday between March 10th, that would be the last 10 degrees of Pisces, and March 30th, the first 10 degrees of Aries, you are going to be feeling all this 0 Aries point stuff much more close and personal. Now, if you're down to a 2-degree orb, so 28 Pisces to 2 degrees Aries, oh my God, let me know what happens. Seriously. You got a lot of, I would use the word stuff going on, okay? And the opposite sign doesn't get away, so same thing for 10 degrees, or September 10th to September 30th, the last 10 of Virgo, first 10 of Libra, is going to be on this world axis point. Same thing down here with Cancer, last 10 of Gemini, first 10 of Cancer, so that would be June 10th to 30th, and the same up here for Sag, December 10th to December 30th. You guys are going to be feeling this much more personally. Okay, so I have definitely yucky way too long, but anyway, thank you guys so much, and just remember, from here to there, from there to here, funny things are everywhere, and I hope I see you next week. Bye! Oh, and I'm always forgetting to do this. Entertainment only. Bye!